Welcome to Trustee Talk. I'm Dick Murgatroyd. We thank you for joining us today. And our guest today is Vice President of the Anderson Township Trustees, Andrew Pappas. Haven't seen you for a while, but it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, sir. It's been a while. Too long?
It's been too long.
How long's it been?
It seems like a year, but I'm sure it hasn't been that long.
It's
been close.
It's flown by. I always check my calendar and I say, "Is it time for Trustee Talk yet?" And when it comes up, no, I'm.
With bated breath, you wait.
I watch them all.
I know you do. We got some serious things to talk.
I don't think you believe me.
I do believe you.
I watch them all.
I knew there was
every one
else.
of them. I usually fall asleep, but I do watch them all.
It's something to occupy your time.
It does.
We got some serious things to talk about. I know you want to start out with this whole new thing that's come along with young people, and it's called vaping.
Yeah.
And you just have been involved with that, talking about it and seen some things that are going on. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, it's not necessarily a trustee issue.
No.
But I think one of the most important things, and Shane is on top of this as well, is one of the most important things the township does is help disseminate information to the residents. And a lot of residents are just not aware of what some of the latest hazards are to your kids. What we've seen through posts on social media, people contacting us, just chatter and whatnot, is there's a trend among youth that they're vaping. And what vaping is vaping is electronic cigarettes, but there are some that are designed in such a way to be so clandestine and secretive that you as a parent could find it in your child's backpack and think that it's something innocuous. And it's not designed for children. It is a product that was originally designed to wean you off of cigarette smoking, but it's morphed into something a little more nefarious. And what I mean by that is there's one particular product out there called Juul, and that's Juul. And it is designed actually to look like a thumb drive, the memory sticks you stick in your computer, and it does actually stick into a USB port, and that's where it charges its battery.
Oh.
Now it has these little packets that you put into it that contain oil of different flavors, strawberry, creme brulee, spearmint, all these different flavors. But there's a lot of unknown ingredients in there as well, and some contain nicotine. It's very high doses of nicotine. And the problem that we have seen, not only in the township, this is not a township issue, this is a national issue, which I've seen a lot of stories coming from all over the nation, how prevalent this is in kids as young as 12.
Wow.
Now, they can't go buy it. The stores are supposed to not sell to anyone under 18. And I'm sure that most probably do. However, if a 18-year-old that wants to try to establish a side business of maybe marketing this stuff to youth, there's a market for that, or there has been. And it really is concerning because I've seen some very disturbing videos of children, like I said, as young as 12, vaping and the effects it has on them. And I really do think it could be used as a gateway, if you would. I don't think it's smart for children as young as 12 to be ingesting things into their body they don't A, know what it is, and B, has a negative effect on them by altering their mind or altering their mindset. The really scary thing is that some of the states that allow medical marijuana, which is another subject entirely, I'm not going to debate that, but one of the side causes or side effects of that, these kids are reloading the Juul packets or the e-cigarettes with marijuana oil, which is very, very potent, very, very pure. And it's more potent, I think it's 10 times as potent delivery system as a regular marijuana cigarette or
Oh
joint.
my gosh.
So we have children that are experimenting as children do, but the products that they're experimenting with seem to be so much more dangerous and potent as when maybe you and I grew up.
Yeah.
Children's experiments, what they do, and I get that. I'm not naive, but we're trying to make parents aware. We just had a series here in the by the time this airs, it'll be about a month or so. We must have had 150 primarily moms that paid $25 a piece, and the township was able to facilitate them in our large room upstairs, and they were taking notes. I saw a lot of moms taking notes, and just totally, they had a whole table out for display of the different devices and what to look for. I had moms come up to me and say, you know what, I did find this in my child's backpack, and they told me it was a thumb drive. And for all intents and purposes, you would think it was. It's so clandestine that what the kids are able to do is, first of all, they're doing it at school,
Wow.
in the restrooms. There's no odor. It emits a
there is?
vapor.
Okay.
The odor is a sweet odor. It's maybe like a candy or something like that. That's what it smells. It's a very sweet odor, but it dissipates quickly. It emits a vapor, not a smoke, a vapor. And I've even seen where, not firsthand, but I've seen and read instances where the kids are able to reach down, like in class, grab it out of their backpack, take a hit off of it, and then blow it either into their sleeve or a water bottle in class, and the teacher would be relatively unaware because he or she is busy, doing classwork.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. I don't know the answer to it. I think information is key. I think parents, I'm a firm believer that the first solution to any family problem starts with the family.
Right, absolutely.
But the parents need to know about this. And to be fair, mom and dad are busy. I mean, mom and dad are, working, getting home, whatever time, practices, dinner, you name it. The life is what it is. And you don't necessarily have the time to be keeping up to snuff on all the ways that your children can get into, trouble. And I'm also concerned that, I think that at some point, given the fact that we don't know exactly what's in the chemical makeup a lot of times of these oils. I've heard lead. I've heard some really disturbing, disturbing ingredients, but they're sucking this into their lungs. And to be fair, your lungs weren't designed to ingest water vapor anyway.
No.
So we're not becoming Big Brother, but we have the facilities here where I feel that it's our duty to provide information to the public about hazards that may be out there. So I'm hoping that we can spread the word. I know that Dee has my fellow trustee has Ms. Stone does a wonderful job with Heroin Coalition here that they meet about every 2 months, every other month, I believe. And we just want to spread the word. Now, why it ties into that? Logically, I think that if you find kids as young as 12, if they start off, they start off doing this,
and then they look for something stronger.
Once this wears off, well, I did that and it didn't hurt me, or it may not have hurt me, and look, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Or if that buzz or high gets to where it doesn't scratch your itch anymore, you're going to look for something stronger.
Yeah.
And seeing as the marijuana oil is 10 times more potent than smoking it normally, you're going to be looking for something even more potent. So I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, I think that like you said, once they try something and then they look for something that's going to do more. I mean, I guess how do they know what they're even? I mean, first of all, how do they get it? Because they can't buy it, can they?
Well, they could. No, you have to be 18, as I said. But to be fair, some places that are selling it, might not have a teller that's particularly these are retail businesses. So if a teller is not, wants to turn a blind eye to maybe the age, I don't think you're going to see a 12-year-old buying it. But to be fair, kids are growing up awful fast these days, and it's a 15-year-old could probably pass maybe for a 17 or 18-year-old, depending on how they're dressed. And going in and buying one or two probably won't raise an eyebrow. But I'm concerned from when I hear stories that there's children or kids that are of age, 17, 18, selling it in turn to younger kids. Now that really bugs me a lot.
Yeah,
which
is probably, it's
probably one of the.
I could see it's probably one way they get it.
Well, I'm sure it is because I've heard of it, and we just need to be aware of it so that parents can do their job of parenting their child. It's not nor should it be our job to do that. But when we hear of something through social media or through chatter at school, I know it's I'll put it to you this way. I know it's a problem at Nagel Middle School. I know it's at Anderson. I know it's at Turpin. I know it's at the Catholic schools as well. I've heard it's problems there. The private schools. I know it's all over this nation. Is it my cause celeb? No, but I think that the township owes a duty to its citizens just to make them aware that something's happening in the township or happening in the area that you may not be aware of, and we're just going to pass the information along to you.
Well, it makes sense. I guess my question is, the places that are selling this, is it a legal substance to be able to sell it?
It is legal. That's just it. The original intent is to wean you off of cigarettes. So it's an electronic cigarette. So it is a legal product. And there's a market out there for it. Now, why some of them have to be marketed or designed so small and clandestine, I don't have the answer to that question. That's for you to judge or for someone to judge. Why, I have employees that do it at work because they don't want to smoke. And usually the traditional design was much larger. It almost looks like a pipe, if you will.
I was going to say, because I've heard about the pipe. I've heard kids talking
almost
about
looks like a duck
pipe.
call. If you've ever seen a duck call, if anyone hunts, when they're vaping, it looks like they're taking a duck call and putting it to their lips, and it's a large device.
But then but then they emit like a lot of smoke or vapor,
cloud of vapor.
A cloud of vapor.
Yeah.
When they
and this does too. It's smaller, but depending on how long you hold it in, the vapor dissipates a little bit, and they're blowing it into empty soda bottles. I think that might have tissues in it, but I know that they're empty soda bottles, so they'll blow it into there, and then the vapor condensates and becomes water again.
Wouldn't see it.
You won't see it.
So but the content of the stuff that do they ever? Do they monitor what the content of that stuff is?
I do not know. I know that the Food and Tobacco Administration regulates cigarettes. I don't know who regulates electronic cigarettes.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I don't know who's responsible if everything has to be tested and whatnot. I will say that I do know that no one is regulating if someone takes a packet, loads it into cannabis oil, and loads it into their own Juul with an injector or whatever else. No one's monitoring that, nor could they.
No.
But it's just one of, and I'm not here to debate that. That's not my point. But when you have states where, with whatever threshold, you can go purchase legally pot oil to treat. And to be fair, it does treat a lot of medical conditions.
Absolutely.
I'm not arguing against that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is a side effect. Be prepared for what might happen because they are doing it. Parents won't know they're even doing it upstairs. Used to be you couldn't smoke in your house because you'd stink.
Yeah, right.
Well, you don't stink with this. And if you suspect that something might be going on, just keep a keen eye and look for it. And Shane will put up some links, hopefully, for information. I know that there's some good resources out there, but we just want people to be aware.
The thing that they buy, is it just a normal flash drive that they can buy?
It's not a normal flash drive. It's an actual Juul, but it looks just like a flash drive. It's not much bigger.
It's specifically made for this to be able to
and it
accommodate
plugs into your USB port to charge.
It charges it up.
So, I don't know about you, but the only things that plug into my computer are for my computer.
Right.
So I would, I'm a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm constantly amazed to the way technology seems to be outpacing our ability to stay ahead of it.
It is.
But it is what it is. We'll bring it up. Something else I wanted to talk about. Some residents have contacted me, tying into the heroin thing, because I do think that there's a link there. I do. I think that, as we said.
I think there is. I mean, the whole thing with that is that same thing happens with that is once they've been on one level of drug, then that becomes boring.
It does make it, yes.
Forces them to,
and it makes it much easier to make that next step. It really does.
Next step, yeah.
I'm working with a few residents here along the lines of the heroin problem that hopefully as we've seen the peak of that. I don't know, no one knows, but I hope that that's on the downward slide through education. But we're trying to bring, there's a gentleman by the name of Kevin Alter who has a Facebook page called The Addict's Diary, and we will put a link up for that, that some local residents have asked if I would assist in trying to bring here to the township to speak to whomever. Now we could do something as elaborate as having him here at the theater. Mm-hmm. I was hoping to work with the schools once we get his schedule lined up to maybe bring him to speak to the schools.
Sure.
And that's public and private. But it's a young man that if you go to his Facebook page and read about him, and Shane's done a wonderful series on the addiction series, and hopefully he can interview him when he's here. But he really connects with young people. I think he went to 19 or 21 treatment facilities before he finally something stuck. So he was an all-American kid, got mixed up in the wrong thing, lost everything, and now is bringing his life back. And he's a good speaker. He knows his information, and he really, more importantly, he connects with the youth rather than having, not saying anyone that's a recovering addict is not necessarily a good public speaker.
No, right.
He brings both to the table, and so I'm working with a few local residents here to try to bring him to the, without township resources. This is all private funds. I don't want to alarm anybody, but we're asking that I'm going to be donating myself and from my business, but we're going to reach out to local businesses and see if they'd be willing to donate to try to offset his travel costs here.
Sure.
Because it's again a very, I think showing, you can tell people all day long, it's bad, but showing them, just listen to him. This happened.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that, and I think it's very important to continue to pound that message away, because all the treatment in the world will solve, or given the rates of success, which are very low on heroin.
They are, yeah.
You throw all the money in the world at treatment and you're only going to make a dent in the problem.
That's exactly right.
But if we start focusing on prevention, where that next wave of addicts is going to be coming from, and stop them, and also treatment, it's not one or the other.
No.
Because I don't think treatment alone is the answer. We need prevention, and we need to open the next generation's eyes as to, hey guys, don't try this. It's bad stuff. So hopefully that'll work out.
Hopefully, well, you hope that does. I mean, I think there's probably some progress. Slow, because for some reason, I mean, I think even with all of the attempt that everybody's making, you still have them figuring, well, it won't happen to me. I think that's
either it won't happen to me, or sadly, I know better. I've vaped and I'm okay.
Well,
and that's my concern.
See, that's the thing, because I think at that level, and I run into some young kids that do the pipe thing or whatever it is, and I go, why are you doing that? And I said, oh, it's nothing to worry about. It's not serious. We get a little bit of high, and then but nothing, not hurting me. And I'm going, but you don't know that.
Oh, no, you don't know that.
You don't know that. I mean, it may not be hurting you now, but it may hurt you. But the thing is that it leads you to that point of because that's the normal progress which we hear is, that gets boring and it's no longer.
Well, it just doesn't affect you anymore.
No, and so therefore they want to go to something better.
Right.
I'm trying. I guess I wonder, is what in the world why are these kids so unhappy or so that they feel like they got to escape through something like that? I mean, is it? I know. I mean. When I was back in the dark ages, when I was a kid, I was a young man. But I mean, I remember kids would smoke cigarettes, or they would,
and that was rebelling.
And that was rebelling. But they 9 times out of 10 after a while they give it up because it smelled and it was dirty.
Right.
It wasn't pleasant. But I mean, so I know that's the problem is these kids try this stuff and then.
And you raise a great point there because. With technology, it seems that we're removing a lot of the natural deterrents by unpleasantness, by making some of these products flavored. Where I mean, who doesn't like creme brulee? Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Exactly.
Creme brulee sounds attractive to me. I mean, hell, I might go try it. But and that's a joke. I'm not going to go try it. But my point is. We've taken the smell out of it.
Yeah.
We've taken the taste out of it and replaced it with something appetizing. But what we haven't done is remove the danger.
No.
And I think that actually makes it more insidious because I just think it's something that we need to actually look at as a society. And I'm not a big regulation guy. That's not what I'm saying.
No, but I mean, but you're right. I think that's the difference is that the ingredients of this stuff. How do you know what is in it?
You don't, because it's not regulated. And I'm not saying it necessarily should be regulated, but understand that you as a parent need to know when you see this is what it is, this is what it's used for, and you need to address that with your child.
Exactly.
And if there's anyone here in the township, at least where I have some control, or the board of trustees does. I think that we need to look at if there's someplace here that's selling this, you know what? We want to make sure that your employees are trained to make sure they know that there's an age restriction here and not, if we hear reports of, much akin to if a store is selling beer to underage minors, well, that gets back to the authorities, and they go in and they say, they don't necessarily yank the license, but they make sure that the store corrects the problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have laws for a reason. So at the end of the day, we're aware of it and we're taking care of it.
Of course, like you said, though, a lot of times an older kid can go in and buy it for them, and then. And their brother or whatever. And
well, he might make, in the entrepreneurial spirit, if he buys it for 10 and sells it for 20.
Yeah, and then they'll do it. I mean, they'll do it. So you're going to put some stuff on the website, places that people can go and check this out, and I hope you are able to get this guy in. I think that would be.
We're working on it. It's a little bit of a moving target, but we're working on it. I mean, I'm not to be so doom and gloom and serious, but I just think it's it's just one of the things that we can do. We have wonderful facilities here. We have wonderful people here in the township that are very generous with their time and money, and we'll see if we can do something good for the community.
Well, I hope so.
And we have, and speaking of that, segueing, we have so many good things going on here. We don't want to focus on all the bad, but part of our duty is to make public aware,
right, and
provide a platform where we can discuss things that should be discussed.
Well, because I think it's not something that's not going to go away.
No.
I think if more people become aware of it, maybe more people can do more at the home. I mean, it's starting at the home, starting with the parents and that. So I think it's terrific. I know you want to talk a little bit. We've got just a little time left. The whole Anderson Station redevelopment.
Yeah, we have some
exciting,
a lot of
things
very, it seems like every show we could do on development here in Anderson. You asked me about a year ago when the Kroger entrance to Wolf Angle would be open, and I kept replying soon. That's now.
Good.
It's open.
Good.
It wasn't as soon as I would have liked, so it's alleviating some of the congestion up there.
Yeah.
The out parcels are really taking shape.
Oh, they
I don't know
are.
if you see them. They're beautiful.
Oh, they're great.
They're lit up at night. They're fantastic. We have some exciting announcements that's already been made about the tenants that are coming in there.
Good.
But most excitingly, I think, for the long term of Anderson, the Anderson Station here, we have some proposals for some very exciting development opportunities there at Anderson Station. That's where the park and ride is, up on the top of the hill. We shall see what direction we move in that. Each proposal has different parts to it. Could be a hotel, could be senior housing, could be an apartment. Could be nothing. We just don't know yet. But the interest is very high in Anderson Township. Things are really starting to come together. I'm sorry for the seems endless construction between 5 Mile and Wolf Angle with the streetscape.
It's all good.
But it's coming together.
Yeah.
I just noticed the other day the McDonald's on Beachmont is doing a major renovation.
Yeah.
And that's private, obviously. But you know what? There's just a lot. There's a lot of things happening. The KFC right there is going to be redeveloped into Gold Star Chili. There's so many things going on that it's almost hard for us to keep on top of it all.
Well, because the sidewalks are all going in on both sides.
Sidewalks are all going in.
A lot of work's going
you
on
notice
there.
the poles are all the power poles are galvanized steel and they're much taller.
Yeah.
So it kind of it gets the clutter up a little bit and does away with as many wooden poles. So there's a lot of.
Well, and they got the lights are all on different.
They're going to be new.
New traffic lights,
Yeah.
and they're on different. Now on a different
Poles, standards, whatever you call
whatever
them.
you wanna call them,
A little fancier.
Yeah.
So we have a lot going on in the township. We have a lot of houses coming online, a lot of neighborhoods that are finishing up. We just have a lot. There's a lot going on here, I couldn't be any happier. Things are going. Growth does bring its challenges. People don't like concrete trucks driving down their street.
Yeah, but I know,
it won't last forever.
It won't last forever, you know.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot going on, and it's exciting to be in such a vibrant and dynamic community.
It's well, I mean, it's just a very progressive, and that. I mean, you look over the past several years, and that, I mean, there's something going on all the time.
Yeah, I do want to mention before we go that this show will air very close to Memorial Day, and I want to remind everyone that when is it? It's right before Memorial Day, isn't it? This has been the whole month of May. On Memorial Day, I would like to remind everyone that has either a veteran or a friend of a veteran or knows a veteran to please come to we'll have it on the website. Shane will provide a link. But we do have our Veterans Memorial is complete as it has been now for about a year. And we want to make sure that everyone knows they're welcome to come. We have a very nice service there. And I just think it's something I look forward to every year to honor the veterans and make sure that they know about it since Memorial Day is so near and dear to them.
Plus, it's a nice, the memorial is nice. I mean,
it did turn out very nice. It turned out very nice.
Really
the committee that was in charge of that did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they did.
So kudos to them, and just our way of giving back. Now I'm still working on getting a tank or something we can park out front. But
little by little, step by step.
Just another toy.
You will find a way.
A tank would be cool.
It would be cool.
Right.
If it's doable, you'll do it. I know.
If it's drivable, I'll do it.
If it's drivable, you'll do it.
Could you imagine the stir that might make if Andrew Pappas was driving a tank down Beachmont Avenue?
We would all vacate the avenue.
I remember. I mean, I know there was some concern about another vehicle I was driving. I wonder how that would go over.
It would probably cause a stir and certainly be talked about.
I make the news.
Yes,
There's no such thing as bad press, right?
No. All press is good press. As always, you bring up a lot of different interesting topics to this conversation whenever I get to see you, which is rare, but when you're here, it's worthwhile.
Time flies by.
It does. But thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for doing it.
And I sincerely mean it always is a pleasure. just to be in your presence.
Oh, easy now. Easy now. We're going to stretch it into an hour show.
Well, we probably will. Anyway, but we do thank you. And we thank you folks for joining us and giving us some time of your day, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And on behalf of our illustrious producer and director who puts up with us every time, Shane Reinert, I'm Dick Murgatroyd, and we invite you to join us again for the next edition of Trustee Talk. And we hope you'll be here with us then. Take care.